Hi, everyone, and welcome. Today is Monday, August 24th, and it's the first day of class for fall 2026. Uh, my name is Joseph Fly, and I'm the instructor for English 1302. Now, you're in one of three sections, either 151, 152, or 156. All I need you to remember for right now is that you're in English 1302. The best way to contact me is through email. You're welcome to use your personal account, your Gmail, your Hotmail, if you'd like to. Of course, you'll need to check your SPC email account pretty much on a daily basis. But email me rather than Messenger or whatever. I don't get Blackboard messages as quickly as I do emails. And also, please be careful because every time I put up a class announcement, I will send that announcement out as an email to the entire class. If you hit reply to that, then I will get your email, but it goes to the bottom of my email queue and I don't see it unless I go looking for it. So I strongly recommend when you have a question, not if, but when you have a question about the course or the content, the material we're reading, start a new email from your personal account and send it to jfly at southplainscollege.edu. In the subject line, put your course, English 1302. And if you put English 1302 online, that'll help, or English 1302 151 or 152, 156. Just somehow, some way so that I know you're my English 1302 online course. Then ask your questions and try to be as specific as possible. Then usually I can answer it quickly without having to look up a lot of answers or find out, for example, which class you're in. Okay, this is going to be one of your best tools for your entire academic college career. What a highlighter does is it lets you quickly identify material that you've read before, which you've deemed as important. So even when we're doing stuff like going over the syllabus, when you highlight important things, it's really quickly to go back and find it again. Probably the biggest mistake or the biggest hurdle I see students facing in their college careers is the assumption, the belief that you can kind of skim the material, you can read it, you can just kind of glance at it or read it through quickly. In college, you really can't. College is one of those things that's going to require you to really read the material, read it carefully, highlight it, or take notes, and then review it again later. This is an online course, and a lot of students think, well, that means it's going to be easier. Not necessarily. Easier in some ways. Easier in the fact that you don't have to drive up to campus, you don't have to look for a parking space. You can work pretty much, it's asynchronous, so you can pretty much work at the schedule that's convenient for you. But a lot of what we do in class, you'll have to kind of do that on your own. So often an online course takes more time and more energy than an in person course. Not that you can't do it, not that you won't be successful. I see a lot of students who really thrive in online environments, and that's great, that's fantastic. But just be aware that it's probably going to take more time than you may have been told. First thing you need to do, well, first thing I recommend you do is just kind of click around the course. It's not entirely open yet, but I think we got the first discussion question posted, and I think some of the content is up, and um, the course is there's a lot there. So kind of look around the course, see what's there, then print the syllabus. I don't require you to print very much, but I do strongly recommend that you print this because this is something you're going to want to have easy and ready access to. I recommend you print it out and then keep it either in your backpack or with the computer you're working on, with your laptop or with your desktop. Uh, when I was in college, I used to stick it on the wall behind my computer just with a piece of tape so I could look at because there's lots and lots of stuff here that you'll need to not necessarily learn, but you'll need to reference it. For example, once you look at the syllabus, you'll know that we're going to have three quizzes this semester. Each one's worth 100 points. We'll have one at the end of the drama unit, at the end of the short story unit, at the end of the poetry unit. We'll have the final exam, it says on here 100 points, but it's actually 200 points. And we have 3 research papers at 100 points apiece. And the grading scale is a standard 10-point grading scale like we've always had. The late work policy is late work is not accepted. Now, the things I'm going on with you now are things that you should be highlighting as we go through it. But yeah, no late work accepted. There's no extra credit available right now this semester. You want to be sure and read the student responsibilities. The responsibilities are basically this. Well, let me outline the structure of the course for you, and then you can read about this under the Start Here tab in the course. It basically works like this. Okay, so there's a syllabus, which is a list of assignments and due dates. So, for example, the first week it's just some introductory material, but the second week, yeah, you'll need to read Act 1 of Macbeth. So you read Act 1, and then there'll be some discussion posts, 1 or 2, about what you think. What's your opinion of Lady Macbeth? How did you like Banquo? What do you think about the Ghost? Just a chance for you to tell me what you think about what you've read. And then the weeks following, we cover Act 2 and Act 3, Act 4 and Act 5, and then our first quiz. The first research paper will be due later that same week. Normally, there are normally 2 discussion posts each week. This week there's only 1, but there are normally 2 each week. And those will open up on Friday, and they'll be due the following Sunday, not the immediate Sunday, but 10 days later. So if one opens up on September 1st, then it's normally going to do September 10th. So you'll have 10 days, a week plus a weekend in order to get that done. But discussion posts are probably the easiest part of the course because all you have to do is read the material, which you're going to do anyway, and then react to it. And I really want to know what you think, even if your opinion is unsupported or doesn't seem well developed or well thought out. Go ahead and just give us your gut reaction because I really want to know what you think, and I'll be able to tell if you read the assignment or not. But yeah, so the first thing you do is you read the assigned material. This is a literature course after all. There's a lot of reading. You read the assigned material, then you react to it on the discussion post, and you're going to have to post your discussion before you can see anyone else's. Then read what other people have said. You can react to other students if you want to, but you don't have to. It's not a requirement of the course. All I ask is that you answer 1 to 2 questions every week. Each post has to be 200 words or more, and it has to be completely on topic. Now, and of course, no AI, no plagiarism. Just tell me what you think. Go ahead and type your answer directly into the discussion box. I wouldn't try to copy and paste it. I've seen students who will copy and paste from a Google Doc, and that's really not necessary. That's an extra step that you don't need because grammar, spelling, and punctuation won't affect your grade. I'm really just interested in what you think. And then you have to post those up Sunday before 11:55 p.m. But watch out for short weeks. For example, this semester we have a short week before Thanksgiving. So if there's anything due that week, it'll be due Tuesday, not Sunday, because that's the end of the week for Thanksgiving. Anyway, and then you'll get an assignment sheet for your writing assignment for your research paper. We're doing 3 research papers. The first one's very simple. It's called a single source research paper, and you just use the play itself as your only source. So you don't have to do any outside research. Just read the play carefully. Then your second one has 2 sources. Then your third one has 3 sources. So we build as we go along. Of course, we're using MLA formatting this semester. The word format just means the way it looks on the page. As you read the syllabus, you'll notice that there's no textbook required, which is really nice. Textbooks have gotten kind of expensive these days, and so they've asked us to adopt online sources when possible. Luckily, there's lots of versions of Shakespeare online, and under the reading list, I've posted 3 different ones. One's a Folgers, I forgot what the second one was, and one's myshakespeare.com, and then one is the stick figure Macbeth, which tells the story of Shakespeare, of Macbeth in little stick figures. It's kind of cute. And you're welcome to read it online if you want to. If you choose to go that route, I would encourage you to print out the play And, well, for everything, the play, the short stories, the poems, go ahead and print it out and then put it in a book. Okay. Because it's easier for me, it's easier to read, it's easier to take notes on, it's easier to highlight, and it's just a good way to learn. It's really an effective way to learn the material. If you don't want to print the play, and it's not a long play, Macbeth is actually Shakespeare's shortest play, and it moves really quickly. I mean, and by that I mean things just happen fast. First this happens, and then this happens, and then poof, the play's over. If you want to, you're welcome to go online or go to Barnes and Noble and pick up a standalone copy. I think this one was $8, and then you've got it, and you can highlight it as you go through. What I recommend you do after you finish Act One, the assignment sheet for the first research paper will be up. Go ahead and pick a topic. Then, as you read the play, you can kind of keep an eye out for quotes that might have something to do with the topic. For example, if we write about the witches, or if one of the topic is the witches, and you choose that topic, then as you read the play, you can highlight everything the witches say, or everything that's said about the witches. Then you have an easy reference for quotes that will support your point. No matter what your point is, as long as you've highlighted everything, then you've got what you need. So you've got the discussion posts, and I know you're thinking, well, those are only 10 points apiece. You're right, they are. And if you miss one, it's not going to torpedo your grade at all. But they do add up, and they add up a lot more quickly than you think. So if you miss 2 or 3 or 4 discussion posts, it's going to show up in your grade. My best advice to you is to stay on top of those, get those answered. 200 words. It's always going to be 200 words, and they have to be on topic. They have to start on topic, stay on topic, end on topic. So be sure that you're talking about what the question is asking you. What do you do if you post a discussion response and, oh no, it's 175 words? Don't panic. You can always repost. You can't delete and start over, but you can just post again. And what I recommend you do is copy and paste your original post and just add 25 words to it. You can't add 2 posts together. You can't have one that's 175 words and a separate one that's 25 words because you can't add them together. But just copy and paste and then explore another thought. The more detailed you are, the more specific you are, the better your answer will be. You do not have to put your name or the heading or the topic. Just get in there and answer the question. And yeah, now discussion posts are kind of an all or nothing deal. You either get the full 10 points or you get nothing. But the only reason you would get nothing is if your answer were short. So, for example, if you post 199 questions, which is one short of 200, you'd get a 0 for that particular assignment. You don't get partial credit. You don't get almost near enough. Yeah, it's all or nothing. So go ahead and make sure your answer is on topic and 200 words or more, and just go over a little bit. Go 210, 225, 250. There's really no maximum. If you want to write 1,000 words on a post, you certainly would lose points for it. But anyway, so you read the material, you write the discussion posts. If there's a writing assignment, because there are some weeks we don't have a writing assignment, but if there's a writing assignment, I encourage you to spend a little time on that. Writing is a very creative process, and it's a process that takes time. So get started on that early and spend just a little time each day or each week on your writing. If you have any questions, of course, you're welcome to ask me. Just send me an email, start a new email, send it to jfly@southplains.college.edu. Or we have the Writing Center. We also have just writing tutors here in the Lubbock campus. Oh, and by the way, let me point out that I am on the Lubbock campus, the South Plains College downtown campus. I'm on 13th Avenue Q. There's another one up on 42nd Avenue Q, but I'm here downtown. I'm always surprised by students who stop by the office and they say, Mr. Fly, I'm here in Levelland. I can't find your office. Yeah, I'm not in Levelland. I'm here in Lubbock. And I do encourage you, I exhort you to stop by and visit. Ask questions, talk, visit, say hi, stick your head in the door, let me know who you are. But yeah, also if, well, we'll talk some more about tests later. So anyway, so I'm downtown Lubbock, and you can call me on the phone. We can set up FaceTime, or Zoom meeting, although I think we're using Teams right now. But anyway, so read the assignment, answer the discussion post, do the writing assignments, and then other things will come up, um, just little miscellaneous things, and we'll kind of address those as like your outline on your works cited page, or we may have like a worksheet on how to do MLA formatting, stuff like that. So kind of keep that in mind. All right, let's talk about AI. Artificial intelligence has permeated our society. It is ubiquitous and it's spreading. It's growing everywhere. Soon it'll be replacing jobs, um, and it's just all over the place. The college, well, higher ed in general, will soon figure out a way to use it in an educationally appropriate manner. We haven't done that yet, or at least we haven't reached a consensus on the best way to use AI in higher education. So, South Plains College, like a lot of places, has simply said no AI. Don't use AI in any form or fashion in your writing. All your writing should be you. And that means don't let AI generate it. Don't let AI check your grammar. Don't let AI check your formatting. Just, it's all you. And there are applications, there are programs which will generate a works cited page for you, but they're also AI. Plus, the works cited page is pretty easy. So, yeah, don't use anything like that for your assignment, because if you do, you get 0 on it. Now, if the AI detector kicks it back, I'm not going to accuse you. I'm not going to say you're cheating or you've done something really wrong or something like that. I'm simply going to say, look, the computer says this is AI. I can't give you credit for something you haven't written unless you can show me. Unless you can show me that you wrote it. The best way, the only way I know to do that, is to write your original documents in Google Docs and with the edit history. So um, if you have that on, you can send me the link and I can go back and check that. But really, just write it yourself. So many times, talk to colleagues and students spend twice as much time, 3 times as much time trying to prove that they wrote something than they would have spent if they had just written it. So yeah, just do the work. And there's a whole thing in your syllabus on AI and fabrication, disclaimer and all that. But then the course calendar is the thing you'll use most often. And remember that these assignments are due the week before. So our next, well, of course, this is an online course, so it's really taught by weeks. We don't have like a Monday course and a Wednesday course. But next Monday, before Monday, August 31st, you should have read all of Macbeth, Act 1. Macbeth Act 1. Then during the week, and probably on Monday, I'll open up the assignment sheet so you can start working on that first research paper. The easy one. And then we have research papers and quizzes, and then we have the final exam. We have Thanksgiving. We come back. We have 1 week of classes, which we'll do our final exam review, and then your final exam will open Monday, December 7th. Most exams, well, all the exams will open like 8 o'clock in the morning and close 11:55 p.m. at night. Same thing is true with your final exam. You're welcome to take the final exam in person with my in-person classes. In fact, that's true for all the tests. If you want to take the quizzes in person, you're more than welcome to if you happen to live near Lubbock or you're going to be in the area. For the first 3 quizzes, we're using HonorLock, which is an app you have to download, and I'll post a video on that, and there'll be written instructions, and there's also YouTube videos. For the last one, I'm planning on using the 2-camera method. I'm sure you've heard of it. It's where you have a front-facing camera and then a side-facing camera. You're welcome to go out and buy a new camera if you want to. You can get them off Amazon for $19. But I understand that you can also use the camera on your cell phone as long as you plug it in using a USB cable. But more about that as we get close to the end of the semester. All right. Hope I haven't overwhelmed you. I hope you're looking forward to having a good semester. When you have questions, drop me an email, jfly@southplainscollege.edu, and I look forward to hearing from you.